I was chosen to do this by Mary Smith. She asked me if I would do this on behalf of the Lakefield District Lions Club. Can you hear me okay?
Sure.
Okay. So my name is Gord McLeish. I'm new to the Lions Club in Lakefield from about 3 years ago. So I don't know a lot about this area, but there's a ton of expertise in this town. So I'm going to do a little bit about that. I'll put it on overhead, so hopefully you can read it. We'll turn the lights down so that they'll help you read what's on the board. And I guess before we get started, I'd like to introduce our president, Ryan Eric Bluefield, back in the right. Eric came to correct us and keep us straight, because he's accountable for us, you know. He's our president. So I'll start off and go through a few things here. Can anybody not read that? If you don't, we'll give those lights. Is that better? Okay. What I'm going to do tonight is just give you a synopsis of the Lions Club by decade. Okay, so I'll just go through each decade, a little bit of information about the Lions Club, and a little bit of information that we've collected. There's a pile of information out there that I've not got in here that will take probably another couple of years to do. That's the way it is. Secondly, I'm going to leave you with some earlier Lions Club regular meeting minutes. And these are handwritten and they're very delicate. At some point in time, we'll want them archived, I think, to protect them, if that's what you guys will like, okay? Thirdly, Lion Gary Jones, he got me into this Lions Club. He taped a video of a number of Lions members in 1981 in various locations around the town with answering specific questions. So I have a CD of that here for you, and you can put that in your files. Second, we were getting ready for our 60th anniversary last year. We tried to get as much experience as we could together in one room. So we went to Larry Taylor's house, and we took a little recording device, and these guys talked for about an hour and a half, and we downloaded the computer and they changed it into a CD. So you can have these also. I don't know what you're doing, but you can listen to them. Okay, where are we going? As I said, this is not inclusive. There's so much information out there about the Lions Club. They've done such a good job over 60 years in the community, from the arena to the hospitals, whatever. A review of the minutes will be taken, will have more insight of contributions. That means I'd like to go through the minutes at a later stage and make little notes about what the Lions actually did in the town of Lakefield or in the surrounding community. So that's a later thing. And of course, Mary's always told me that we should be taking some of our documentation to the Peterborough Museum. Is that right, Mary?
Yes.
And getting it put in place so it's not going to deteriorate any further. All right. And that's it. Throwing them out already. That's good. Okay, now, I don't know whether you want to read this or do you want me to read it or how you would like this presented. Well, I guess one thing is, if you have any questions, ask them now, because I don't want to take questions at the end, because you may forget, and I may forget the answer. When the Lakefield Lions Club began, they had their charter night on April 5th, 1946 at the Grove School. And I think there's about 170 people attended that. the charter night. Now, all this lists the charter members of the club at that point in time. And it goes all the way down. I don't think I'll read all the names. I've supplied you with this in hard copy, so you can read it at your leisure.
I would very much appreciate it if you did read those names. There aren't very many.
All right. And we'll start. No problem. You'll get slammed in. Okay, the first one, Eric Anderson, Funeral Director. Beecher Blake, Lakes IGA. Frank Coyle, Garage Operator, Bridge Street. Reginald Dunk.
That's my dad.
Pardon me?
That's my dad.
Oh, no, that's cool. Douglas Davis, Arthur Davis and Charlton Garage at Queen Street, Lakefield. And Frank Erskine, operator of a hardware store in Lakefield, now home of Royal Bank. Tom Hendren, funeral director. Reverend Mansell R. Hunt, he was the rector of the Baptist Church in Lakefield. Jack Reddick, operator of a hardware store in Queen Street, now Sunshine Spa. Robert Lennox, a movie projectionist at local theaters. Wilbert Morrison, insurance and securities representative. Kenneth W. Morris, operator of feed mill and fuel business on Concession Street. Is that the one they just took down?
Yep.
Elwood Northey, Northey's Rexall Truck Store. Frank Payne, insurance agency. John Ryan, operator of Stedman's Five and Dime Store, Queen Street. Harry Stabler, accountant at American Nephilim.
Nephilim.
Pardon?
Nephilim.
Oh, thank you. Everett Sloan, principal, Lakefield Public School. Robert Sutton, principal, Lakefield High School.
Thank you.
I'm not done.
There's more Michael. What's this one down?
Okay, G. Winder Smith, headmaster at Gold School, now Lakefield College School. Thomas R. Staves, mechanic at Douglas Motors in College Garage. George Tanner, draftsman at CG Peterborough. Harry Wanamaker, school teacher. Elmer Wright, employee at America Nephilim. Limited, Nefton, Ontario. D. Douglas Weaver, manager at the Lakefield Research. The Lakefield Lions Club held its charter night at the Grove Lakefield Preparatory School, which is now renamed Lakefield College in 1966. 170 were in attendance, including the Lions, their wives, and guests. I might as well do this too. Other dignitaries that we see in attendance: the Reed, W.C. and Mrs. Grant of Lakefield, MP of Burley Falls, Mr. Gordon K. Fraser, Mr. and Mrs. Stanley Darling of Peterborough, Mr. and Mrs. Arnold Dale of Peterborough, Lions District Secretary Bruce Malcolm of Toronto, Mr. and Mrs. D.B. Weaver of Lakefield, Lions District Governor Charles Carter of Bowmanville and Miss Edna Carter, Lions District Governor Ernest Gabord, KC of All, I don't know what that is. Lions District Deputy Governor Russell Hunter of Napanee, Mr. and Mrs. J.J. Brown of Bowmanville, Reverend and Mrs. M.A. Hunt of Lakefield, Mr. and Mrs. William Rashley, Assistant Headmaster of the Grove.
Got a spelling error there.
Where?
Rashley.
L-I-G-H.
L-I-G-H.
You know what, I worked with him, Rashley in Ontario Hydro, and he was L-E-I-G-H. But that's what I saw when somebody wrote it, so I just copied it.
Mary.
And this Rashley's from Peterborough, right?
No,
No
thank
problem.
you.
He was going.
Okay. The chartering of the Lakefield Lions Club was 149th charter in Ontario and Quebec since 1920. And remember, At that point in time, we're a member of Ontario Multiple District A3, and it had 152 clubs and 8,187 members. And the Lions motto is "We serve."
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, a lot. But that's okay. This will probably go through quickly, maybe. In the 1940s, I did this by decade. So we're in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, up to 2000. At that point in time, the 40s, there were 4 presidents. Weaver, E. Weaver, E. Anderson, K. Morris, and R. Sutton. Up to 50, then we'll flip that. And at the start of this, the first thing that I saw that the Lions picked up was the Boy Scouts of Canada. And they started to develop an alliance with them and helping them out financially. I contributed $10,000 to the Scout shipbuilding, including all the furnishings.
What year did they do that? That's a lot of money back then.
Well, I don't know. Well, that would be in the late 40s, probably 47, 48. Yeah. Well, that's what the book says.
Yeah, I know that's
In the same era in 46, they had a 26th multiple district A convention in Niagara Falls, and it just seemed to happen at the time. Lakefield Lions were charmed, so I just put this in, indicating some information about the multiple district. Okay. Right. 1950s. These are just little pics of what's really in there. But in order to get it all, we'd have to read all the minutes, and I haven't had time for that yet. Anyway, the presidents in the 50s are as shown here. You may know some of these people, or not, I'm not sure. But some of the accomplishments or what they did in the 50s was Isabel Morris Park. They built the first baseball stadium for the village of Lakefield, or the town, and built the first at Isabel Morris Park. And that came with a cost of about $20,000 from what we see. I don't know what all was there. I don't think the lighting was put in at that time. Do you know about that, Eric? Okay. 50 Lions International, with urge of Helen Keller, adopted a Vision 8 as a line project. That's one of the biggest things that the Lions have done over the years, is their involvement with the vision impaired. And we're still doing it. We're still doing things in schools, and we're still doing classes and what have you. And having said that, they started collecting glasses. '60s, the roaring '60s. Did a lot in the '60s. From what I've read, I didn't put it all in. Not yet, anyway. Yes, ma'am.
Or if you could read the names again, that would be great. It's,
You want the names
They're
of the
small.
presidents?
Yeah.
please.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Kind of fun to hear.
You want me to go back to the 50s?
Sure, sure.
You're finding out that we're old and we can't see.
We know them all.
This will cost you guys. Our presidents in the 1950s, 50 to 51, H. Stabler, 51, 52, Davis, D. Davis, 52, 53, J. Ryan, 53, 54, E. Wright, 54, 55, H. Hamlin, 55, 56, P. Richard, Richard, Richard.
Yeah,
Who's
Richard.
in charge of Lakefield Canoe?
Okay. 56, 57, W. O'Brien, 57, 58, C. Coons, okay. 58, 59, R. Campbell, 59, 60, C. Hannah. Okay? Now we can move to the 60s. Okay, guys. No questions? That's good. Presidents in the sixties. 1960 was Jay Mather. Neither. I missed something there. 1960 to 61, Jay Chittick. 61 to 62, D. Murphy. 62, 63, D. McCracken.
Oh, yeah.
Pardon?
That's her dad.
Oh. So we got your father and Edward.
Pardon?
What other relative had you here?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
No,
right here.
no.
Okay.
I had a dad.
Yeah, right, your father, yeah.
No, but my father's been dead, for 15 years now, and I have his lion's vest with all of the pins that he collected right up to his death that are on the vest.
What are you gonna do with it?
I'm going to donate it to the Lions Club.
Why didn't you donate it to the Historical Society for the Lions Club?
The Lions Club got a museum.
Well, it's going to stay in the Lakefield area.
But you could donate it to the Lakefield Historical Society
Oh,
and tie it to the Lakefield Lions history.
yeah, well, it will stay in the area.
Yeah, just that.
That might be one of your next projects, the Lakefield Museum.
Yeah.
This is getting expensive, this is getting expensive.
Isn't it? Yes.
Pardon?
The Lions Club can go in with the Historical Society and we'll have, a little museum in Lakefield.
I'm not kidding, either.
No, seriously.
Praise God. Yeah, we do need a trillion. Right. Can I continue? Mr. McCracken, is that in relation to, McCracken that's a member of the Lions Club now, Jim?
It's a cousin.
Oh, is that, okay.
Yeah, and we're a direct descendant of McCracken's Landing.
Okay.
And that McCracken owned Leonard's Hardware for the last 40 years before it became the country.
Oh, thank you. Oh, what are you doing, Historical
I
Society?
know, no, he's my
That's excellent.
I know about that.
63, 64, I think that's Arcadian, right?
Mhm.
64, 65, J. Lord? George? That's, it should be a G there, right? Thank you.
He was supposed to come tonight, I just saw his wife, where is he? He's never made it.
65, 66, R. Dunford. I don't know which Dunford that is. Okay. 66, 67, George Chappell. 67, 68, D. McCann. Doug. 68, 69, Ivan Moore. And 1969, 70, Glenn Fairman. In 63, the Lions pushed to install artificial ice at the Lakefield Arena. The Lions members donated their time, trucks, and help in this project. In 65, the arena roof collapsed. Apparently it was, everybody just got out of the rink or something like that and it came down. And the Lions Club constructed a new arena. For more information, it shows that the contribution was in around $85,000. And that's 1965. When a car cost 1,800 to buy or something like that, 2,000. That was a big venture. In 66, they donated a new fire rescue van to the village of Lakefield. Okay, we're getting into the less old stuff is, the more accessible it is to get at, you know. So I gotta write more about the other stuff. 1970 presidents. 70, 71, Don Good. 71, 72, J. Brown. 72, 73, G. Taylor. 73, 74, R. Hall. 74, 75, J. Huey. I understand he's quite a character.
Joe.
I've heard stories about him.
Yeah.
75, 76, J. Graham. 76, 77, T. Sloan. 77, 78, H. Bensworth. 78, 79, T. Cole. I had a few brief conversations with him. Tom Cole. 79 and 80, J. Breaker. Jack Breaker, yes. That year, in the seventies, $14,000 went towards a new washroom and concession booth at Lakefield campgrounds. And it went back to the community again, $7,000 for a new fire department rescue van. Also in that time frame, the ladies in the community wanted to be involved in Lionism. So they formed the Lakefield Lions Club, and that operated under the umbrella of the Lakefield Lions Club. At that time, I don't think at that time the ladies were allowed to have their own clubs, but I'm not sure. We won't go there. One of the things that came out from Joe Dunford was this free bus rides to see the fall colors in the area, and the men's club would get the bus and take them around, and the Lioness Club, they would do the sandwiches or whatever. Do you remember that, maybe? You're too young, huh? That's right. This is a Boy Scout thing in Lakefield. Sea Scouts, yeah. I think Nancy wrote this, Nancy Lane. The money was donated to help defray the costs of the building they now operate from. They assisted the purchase of boats, tents, and other camping equipment. The Scouts are also supported by the BEL Rotary, and for many years obtained funding assistance from the Rotary with their bingos. Several years ago, the Rotary lost their bingos, and the Lions stepped in with an annual donation of $500 to help subsidize the study program. No questions. This is good. 1980s. 1980s. President 7980, Jack Breaker. 8081, Gary Reitman. 8182, D. Dettinger. 8283, Eric Gigweed. Earl, sorry. 8384, D. Newsom. 8485, Gary Jones. 8586, D. Smith. 8687, Dan Wilson, I think?
Yep.
No, that was, yes, sorry.
Yeah, he's the part of the architect. 87, Norm Pine. Neil Pine.
Ben.
Okay, that's hard to say. 8078, F. Lee. 8089, T. Birch. And 8990, Neil Lassie. During the 80s, the Lakefield Clinic received a new resuscitation unit for at the cost of $1,000 that the Lions donated. They also contributed $15,000 to the Peterborough CAT scan. They contributed $6,000 to the trash cans and the flower pots that are downtown Lakefield. Lakefield District, and they also celebrated the 40th anniversary. And also they erected that event sign at the bridge. And they said the cost is about $7,500. So there's still an annual cost to that going on every year. So that's not the only cost of that project. 1990s, we're getting almost at my time. 8990, Neil Watson was president. 9091, D. Brennan, Bob Brennan. 9192, T. Rose. 9293, that must be John Dunford. 90,
I think it wasn't Joe.
Joe?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. 9394, Jackman, Ken Jackman. How come you use your twice? Okay.
Started it on the.
I guess you like the job.
Good at it.
95, 96, D. Wilson. 96, 97, Jerry Lane, and 97, 98, Jerry Lane. 98, 99, George Payton. It should be a G, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do something with my computer.
Move that key.
Yeah, right. Change all the J's to a G. And 1999 to 2000, George Payton and Randy Kingdon. I think they shared that for whatever reasons.
I just have a suggestion, and it's something that came up when Historical Society was looking at the names on the cenotaph, that for historical purposes, it's very helpful if this is going to be your written record, that you put the full first name with the person.
Good, good. Who can help me put the first name of all of them?
Well,
I mean,
Neil
that-
can.
A lot of people
And Neil can. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
A lot of the club members can help that too, George Floyd and,
Yeah.
I think
Fred
that's.
Kelly and so on.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, and it's just like on the cenotaph, I think it's not right to not honor the people by putting their full name.
We will do that now.
Thank you, yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, 1990s, synopsis, started the International Youth Exchange. Now, a long time ago, there was a youth exchange in International Line, and that was strictly between Canada and the United States. And that operated from the 50s all the way through, and it come and go, and it come and go. But this is the first time we did an international one with exchanges from kids from Europe. And it says that 8 youths from Europe, Asia, and North America traveled to our area to enjoy a month of Canadian culture. This year is, I hope you send some Canadian youth out to country camps. The youth spent 2.5 weeks with a host family and 10 days at the David Mercantile Park in Keene. They are immersed in Canadian culture and expect to make presentations about their own countries. Each youth must be sponsored by a Lions Club, but are expected to share in the cost of the camp. And it says that at that time they're looking for families who would be interested in being a host family for a youth this July. That was the time in the 90s. And at the same time, the Lakefield and District Lions Club celebrated 50 years of service to the community and to Lions International. We're done? Maybe. As before, 1999 to 2000, George Payton, Randy Kingdon. 2000, 2001, Randy Kingdon. 2001, 2002, Jim Galvin. 2002, 2003, Jim Galvin. 2003, 2004, Billy Nobles. 2004, 2005, Billy Nobles. 2005, 2006, Eric Linfield. Fred or Ruck, who was going to put down.
What Eric did that.
Thank you, sir. And 2006, 2007, Greg Woodfield. In 2001, the Lions completed the commitment of $50,000 to the people of regional health care. That commitment began in Jim Galvin's president 5 years before. And that presentation was made at our 6th Lions annual beer auction. That's a fun event. In 2003, the Lakefield Lions began its first Walk for Dogs of Canada in the Lions Foundation. And Lions President has been involved in this, and he knows a lot about dogs, and he's pretty good at it. So we do it every year. They do a little walk around town and collect funds. And he's indicated they've raised over $10,000 in 4 years. Something good. And just a little ditty about the dogs. So the program is promoted to inform the public of proper etiquette when meeting someone who has a guide dog through school visits and with guide dog training and public appearances. It also promoted fostering of guide dogs in local homes to get their basic training before returning to farm training. These are words that Ted wrote to me because I didn't know what I was talking about. So I asked him to put some words down about dog guidance, which is very dear to him. What else have I got here? Okay, the last one of the 2000s. Going on again about with the vision. the Lakefield Lions began a vision screening program. And they included Lion and Lioness Clubs from Millbrook, Peterborough, Shimon, Lakefield, Athley, and Bancroft. And really, what this is, we go to schools, and there's got a piece of equipment that tells whether the eyes are okay. And these are all from the optometrist people. And then we ask questions for depth perception and different things, and write a pass or not a pass. With this information is given to the parents. At that point in time, it's their accountability to look after the children and take them to an optometrist to have it checked. Okay. So we go on, and I've been in few of them, and pretty interesting. The kids are good to work with, but some do have problems, and they found some out, and some, I guess, one girl had to have an operation shortly after a detection by this program. So Nancy knows more about this. Anyway, a few of the other things that Lions do involved with McLean Sugar Bush, and formerly the Warsaw Sugar Bush, I guess, a long time ago. We're doing that this weekend again out there. Lakefield Fair, they've been through it for a long time. Sometime we'll do a history on how long they've been there, because the minutes are hit and miss, you know. Those are good. But I know the Lions did contribute a pile of money to a building at the Lakefield Fair. And I read that in the minutes, but I don't know how much or when. And most of our events, we get up to 40 members a year volunteer their time to do this stuff. So it's not all hard work, it's still a lot of fun too. So we enjoy ourselves. And in 2005, the Lakefield Lioness Lions Club became a charter member of Lions International. So that doesn't mean we're separated from the Lakefield Lions Club. They're now a separate entity on their own. Okay, under the auspices of the Lions International. Now, I got a couple more before. The CD that I gave you guys, this was a taping by Gary Jones in 1981. And it was, I don't know what format it was on. I think he taped it from a Chex camera or whatever. And he had took it to Wally Mott, and Wally Mott did a whole bunch of things with it and turned it into a DVD. So this is, let's do a little bit of story about that. So the people talking on this DVD are Frank Coyle, Tom Coyle, Bert Cornwall, Joe Dunford, Gary Booth, George Lloyd, Jack Brown, Doug Cruz, Carl Edwards, Don Good, Joe Hood. That's spelled right.
Yeah.
So the other one's spelled wrong. Thank you. Tom Murphy, Ben Bettinger, Gord Hurd, Earl Dickley, Pat Sloan, Doug Nuisance, Ken McClure, Glenn Fairman, Henry Bensler, Frank Richard, Paul Richard, Richie, yeah. Is it spelled right?
It's Riche.
R-I-C-H-E.
R-E-I-C-H.
R-E-I-C.
It might be someone different though, because I think that he was long gone by 81. Hmm? He was Paul, yeah.
You
I
think
think
it?
this is a different.
It might be Richard.
I think that's.
Okay, thank you. Bottom fall?
Bob.
Should be Paul.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Oh,
Then Bob Bateman, Doug Smith, Phil Curtis, George Chappell, John Armstrong, Jack Baker, and Ron Hall. Okay? All these guys are answering some questions about something that goes on in town. So that's on that DVD.
It's a good guy.
Now,
Yeah.
I guess
For us, Michael.
something else we did in 2006, we did another little anniversary thing at the at Isabel Morris Park, and this was chaired by Lion Randy Kingan. And he really wanted to thank all the people and businesses in the community who have sponsored the Lions over the years. And we get a lot of them, like I think we had 120 sponsors give us stuff for the dinner auction. Wow, okay? And we don't give them receipts for it. Because we're not that type of organization, okay? So that's what we did that year. But also in collaboration with that, they call it a lion shack, they call it a lion den. I think the real word is den, but in Lakefield it's a shack. And that's okay as long as we're consistent. And at that point in time, it was determined by the Lakefield Lions Club that we would dedicate this lion shack to past Lions Don Good and Glenn Fair. So at that point in time, there was a small ceremony at the lion shack, and Mara Good had her family there, immediate family, and so did Marie Fairman. Okay, so they were all there. We have a bunch of pictures of that. If you want that put on a CD, I'll do that for you. Okay? And at that, there was some dignitaries. Don Del Mastro, he did come, didn't he? Dean. Yeah, did he come?
Yes.
Okay. Dean Del Mastro. Jeff Leo, Ron Yellow, Councilor Mary Smith, of course, Lions President Eric Bluefield, Lions District Governor Jim Lamar, and Lions Vice District Governor Victor Smith. They're all there. And we had a little band, did some work for us, and it was quite nice. So that's it. If there's no more questions, I'll have coffee. Thank you, guys. Is there no questions?